Hmm. Well, welcome to Innervision FM music news and other stuff. The last couple of days we've been covering mostly political things, so we'll cover a little bit of music, but we're still going to cover some things that are happening politically as well as the media is still trying to convince you that you uh, you love the government spending your money in whatever way they want, and you don't want them to stop, and you don't want $5,000 because that's not nothing to you. When there's a poll that was taken, African American population, they usually make about $38,000 a year, and this politician says who has $9 million, she says $5,000 wouldn't be nothing to a person who's making $38,000 a year.
Well, I will tell you from personal experience. We're also going to talk to you a little bit about Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe. She's in the news. We're going to also talk a little bit about a couple of
Justin
other
Bieber,
things, so do stay tuned.
Justin Bieber, and his son Justin Blue Beaver, six months old, and it reminds me of my friend Brian. He started his son out playing hockey very young, too, and I said, okay, I guess if you wanted to be good, you start them out young.
Yeah.
Um, So, oh, also don't forget to share, like, subscribe to the show, leave your comments in the comment thing. And if I see something in the Facebook, I'll wait until after the show to respond because yesterday I clicked on it and then it put me in a loop.
Well,
So,
see, the thing is sighted people, the way that they can do it is they've got their phone and they can look at Facebook and just, see the comments roll in. I suspect the way that the blind, when they want to do it, they'll probably have to set up two computers, one to monitor uh, the setup so that there's not a feedback loop created by the speech software. Because
yeah.
that's absolutely right. You'll hear live coming in the Facebook feed, plus you'll hear the YouTube feed.
Hmm. Oh, and
So yeah, I think that's probably what was going on there.
definitely.
Typically, that's how
Yeah.
they kind of get around that is you'll have a second laptop fired up or a second box, some sort. Anyway, folks, we down at the Innervision FM headquarters, that's not really a headquarters, it's sort of virtual now, but
Yes.
we do want to be transparent with you. Will you make your donations to us and you help us out? Those go towards the furthering of the tech that we're going to need to actually start showing uh, these younger folks that want to learn how to create their own content, how to do that. So, we've got a lot of irons in the fire. We're politically minded. We love to save our country, help our uh, people out as best we can, kind of give back as best we can. The blind community is pretty much overlooked. 70 to 90% unemployment rate within the blind community. Do you know that currently uh, you can only make $22 a month, maybe a little bit more on SSI? We aim to kind of surround ourselves with folks that want to kind of change that kind of mindset. For thousands of years, since time immemorial, the blind, we've kind of taken what we can get, man. We don't throw a fit. We're just sort of programmed to deal with it and, do what we can do.
Hmm.
But today, there's never been a greater opportunity with the advent of artificial intelligence for the blind to start doing and making and
Hmm.
having for themselves the things that a lot of folks take for granted. So when you donate to Innervision FM, it's not going to send Alan to Hawaii or Johnnie to Hawaii or any of that stuff. It's going to go right back into the blindness community. Is really all it boils down to. So consider donating today. All the stuff is down in the descriptions below on, geez, whatever platform you're watching us on, LinkedIn, YouTube, that kind of stuff. So, do consider helping out.
But
Additionally,
speaking of Hawaii, I might buy a $1.19 pineapple though.
you might buy a pineapple.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're pretty cheap.
Send your donations to Johnny Johnson's Pineapple Fund,
Yeah.
at the Pineapple Express.
Shit. Oh yeah, man. Because if you choose to cut it yourself, it's a whole lot cheaper. But if you want to get it cut, it's like $5, $10 a box.
That's
I
pretty
said, I just cut it myself.
That's pretty funny.
Oh man. So hey, and then hey Joe won't be able to join us because his internet is running into problems in the Philippines. So he just sent me a little text saying that. So
I tell him to be safe, and we will keep everybody in the Philippines, South Africa. Let's see where else. Mongolia. There's a couple of folks in Mongolia, or not Mongolia.
I
What am I
see
saying? Huh?
Mexico, and then uh not the Philippines. Well, the Philippines too, but oh, what was the reference?
Ethiopia,
No, what were the refugees we got? You might have said it. The refugees we got from not China. Oh, what is that? Oh, I have a friend named my friend who's married to an American Pat. When he came here like in the 70s, I mean they put a gun in his hand and had him out there fighting people at the age of 12 and 13.
oh
And
my,
and then he got out of, then he got a trip to
liberated,
America, and
right?
so he went from there. Could you imagine somebody putting a gun in your hand and say, "Okay, we're gonna go after those people"? You think like, "Man, I'm just gonna be a kid."
Right? Yeah, we
So
got it pretty good here in America, even for as much as some of, the folks that don't so much like America, we love it. We love it here. And
mm,
we'd love for you to love it here as well. And we do still, even still, extend the hand of friendship to those who are here in America. Might be a little bit misguided and might be a little bit thinking, oh man, we got a new sheriff in town and he's going to change everything and wreck everything and
mm,
put everything upside down. You know,
yes,
I will tell you this. Back during the previous administration, when we had to couch everything in words, vacation packages and Charlie's
mm,
19th birthdays, and wondering if we screwed up and we said the wrong thing, would they fine us out of existence in addition to canceling us, in addition to, so, I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to sit down, be quiet for a bit, and just let DJT cook.
yes, yes, definitely. So I want to get into our first document with Justin Bieber. So, so, so he makes a double confession about his son, Jack Blue Beaver, which I guess I was thinking like his son is 6 months years old, but I guess the earlier and everything, I guess the earlier you start your children, don't wait for the school system, the public school system to start teaching your kid. Because I know, my ex, we started teaching colors, um, saying that this is a chair. And just those little things. And we didn't say, well, wait until they get in kindergarten and that'll be the whole teacher. You do a lot of teaching at home. And even the Bible talks about like speaking to your child in the morning and the night about uh, the words of the Bible and stuff like that. So even that says like don't wait until the kid gets too old because those early teachings always helps.
That's absolutely right. The formative years of a child are from the ages of 0 to 5 years old. That's when the brain is most young and most elastic and
Hmm.
most, well, I kind of call it plastic, which means, that's moldable, it's shapeable, and everything is firing and everything is good. Also, with the youth, which is going to be a great thing, uh, with the Make America Healthy Again initiative, you know, back when Johnnie and I were children, there was the autism rate in the country of maybe about 1 in 10,000. Uh, Nowadays, it's somewhere around 1 in 8, 1 in 6. I don't know what the statistics are,
Oh,
but it's incredible and not so much in a good way. So, I do believe that cutting out some of the dyes, some of the processed ways that the foods are, uh, well, some of the ways that the foods are processed, that's what I'm going to try to say. Uh,
mm,
that's going to help out a lot. As I do get older, even though I'm a what do you call that, an omnivore, meat eater, and also eat vegetables, I start looking at things and I think, it might be better to kind of get into the vegetarian aspect of things, if not cut out meat entirely. Definitely look at some more healthy alternatives to meat,
mm,
or to cut it out
mm. Now,
some.
I think back when I was a teenager, and I was going back and forth to hospitals and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and uh, it was interesting because I had all this acne problem and stuff like that, and I'm in the hospital, and I order a hamburger, and then the nurses, they watch me and they see me taking out the tomato, take out the lettuce, and they wow, this is interesting, but none of them ever said, well, vegetables are good for you. Tomatoes are good. And my mother wasn't there at the time. So
Yeah.
this is like, you order lunch, whatever, and you just have what you have. But it was almost like, I wonder if they knew. And then yesterday, when I went to the doctor, I was talking to the lady that was checking me in. And I said, did you ever read the history of how medicine got started? And she says, no. And I'm thinking like, but you're in the medical profession. Don't you
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
know the
shoot.
history of why you're here? Or
Yeah, like being a musician, man, shoot, I picked up all kinds of historical texts on all kinds of different styles of music. So sure, I mean, I would jump right on into, well, how did music itself get started? Which I
hmm.
have.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, yeah, some people may be in a profession, but maybe it's just a profession just to pay the bills, and they're
Yeah.
not really into it. They just, okay, I can see how to do this, I can see how to do that, but this is just to make money and not necessarily, you know, what I'm really interested in is just this is how I make money now, and my family needs two people working, or maybe in that day was single moms, whatever. And and so when I look back on that, and when I asked had this lady today who was checking me in and doing my weight, taking the blood pressure and seeing the oxygen, that she had no concept of a Rockefeller and how and I was about to ask the doctor the same thing because he was recommending me this flu shot. And I said, do you know that there's mercury chemicals in that flu shot? And so you're saying that you really feel sorry about what the doctors did to me in 1966, but you want me to take another chance on this flu shot.
Right.
I said, where's your sincerity?
Well, here's the deal. YouTube and stuff and other organizations, other platforms, they wanted to take anybody that spoke negatively about big pharma off. In fact, they did take the Maha website down for a bit. Big pharma did the other day. Um, I saw something the other day where uh, RFK Jr. was trying to release some information about the diabetes epidemic and how to reverse it in 30 seconds.
Mhm.
That video got nuked.
It
So,
did?
there's
Wow.
still a bunch of control going on out there. And the bottom line is this. How many billion people are there on the planet? Well, there's 2.8 billion, plus or minus. How
Mhm.
many how many people are in the big pharmacological industry? Well,
Just a
don't really
small,
know.
even half a
Yeah.
percent, 1%.
Yeah. So, the bottom line is this. Hey, look, let's work together. Let's extend the hand of peace. Let's extend the hand of fellowship right here, right now, through Innervision FM to the
Yes.
big pharmacological industry. Hey, let's all work together. Because
Yes.
if we don't, um, the unfortunate thing is it's just a numbers game.
Right.
Um, and I know the big scientists out there. I mean, that's why the big pandemic got out there. And that's, and the blind people, here's the deal.
Mm.
We didn't cry, we didn't whine, we didn't get offended, we didn't even think about it. Oh, you guys made a made a little thing and don't touch, don't breathe, don't, we were just as scared as you are. But now that we've had a couple of years to look at some things, shame on you guys.
Yeah. Now
I
I
mean,
got to.
shame on you.
I know, man. This is crazy. Now, speaking of charities and all that kind of stuff, Justin Bieber was at this. It was LA Strong charity
Uh-huh.
hockey game, and I guess he was playing on one of the teams that raised money for the California fires.
Right.
And I hate to be like this, but I often wonder because I heard a long time ago that when these musicians and artists they do charities, even for the Red Cross and stuff like that, 90% goes towards administrative costs, and then 10% goes towards the charity.
Yeah, that's a normal practice with many charities. So it's always good when you give to a charity, hey, what's all the money going for? So don't be afraid to ask when you donate to Innervision FM, "Hey, where's my money going?"
No,
We'll tell
what's the
you.
breakdown?
Yeah, we'll tell
Yeah,
you.
ask them what the breakdown is. And if they don't know, then you say, when you find out, you see me again, you let me know.
Right. Exactly.
Gee.
Exactly.
But anyway, so he has a son 6 months years old, and I have a friend Brian that he got his son started in hockey, and I remember like it was like this little 4-year-old,
Yeah.
and it was after like they and I guess he would take I'm gonna think yeah I guess he would take him with us to the to the because we'll get together and pray, and I don't know if he would it was right after the pra- practice or before. But I would always remember, and now his son is like, I think his son is like 22. So it was like, I know him like long time, like long time. So it's out from a little kid. And then he went playing hockey and he's been in Detroit and Canada and a lot of different places playing hockey and stuff like that. And now they're starting up a nutrition company. But but yeah, I guess you have to start him off early. And
Mhm.
so he has Justin Bieber has stars in the eye about his son eventually getting into hockey, following in the footsteps of his dad, as far as like sports activity. I don't know about acting or singing or anything like that. But
Interesting.
so and this is for the wildfire relief, which yeah. How is that going? If anybody is from California and you know how that is going, uh,
Yeah, check in, let us know.
Yeah, North Carolina and California.
Yeah, we want to hear from folks from North Carolina. Um,
Yeah,
there's the $5,000 stimuluses and things like this that people are talking about. We, the blind, might not get even close to any of that because the bottom line is 90%, 70% of us, whatever you want to, whatever figure you love best.
now that some people were wondering about how Justin was doing because he said, I guess he looked pretty rough. But
Yeah.
I remember listening to Chris James when you're water fasting.
Hmm.
Sometimes you look really rough, and
Do
and
you?
it's just that you're just cleaning, doing a cleanse. So,
Mm.
but he said, hey, there's nothing to worry about. But he's probably not telling like, oh, I'm going on a water cleanse or something like that. And but he says everything's all good. Don't worry about my health. I'm doing good.
Now, one thing about Justin Bieber, and I don't want to put anything out there that shouldn't be out there, but wasn't he and P. Diddy involved at some point, way back in the day? And that,
Yeah. And then he got off into the drug scene for a minute.
yeah,
It's just pretty much just to probably cover up any past memories of those days. And the cost of of being a childhood star, and then and his was it his mother who sent him over there?
I suppose so. I don't know.
Yeah, these mothers, you ladies, you gotta like
Gotta
us
vet your.
dads, you gotta watch your children.
That's right.
Now, fortunately, or unfortunately, I'm not sure. Taylor Swift's mother, she says, I like Rick, the manager, but I'm gonna go in the role with you because I don't want nothing crazy going on behind the scenes. And you're being only like 13, 14 years old, and I'm not there to protect you. So I did like at least what her mother did, even though I don't know, Taylor Swift didn't turn out to be the best, but yeah, kind of. But she got her success. But as far as like Usher, Justin Bieber, and the parents taking them over there for some grown man to mentor them, and you don't know that grown man, and then you can say, "Hey, see you later." It's like being at a weekend camp. See you later. I don't agree with that. So if leave in a comment line, mothers, do you think that you should just drop your kids off with people that are on the TV or in the music scene and just leave them and not take responsibility for what might happen? Because I would have had a bit, I know PDD had a big enough house where there could be a room for the 14-year-old and there could be a room for the mother, since the dad was nowhere to be found in either one of these boys' life.
Speaking of the music industry, well, let's talk a little bit about Zoe Kravitz. What's going on with her?
Okay, Zoe Kravitz, I guess she was dating for 3 years. Oh, she breaks her silence on her fiance Shannon, wait a minute, Shannon Tatum, a fellow actor, and I guess they did a few acting things, and she did, or just a recent one in 19, oh no, 2024, because she called off the engagement after 3 years, and I guess um they just they weren't going down the same what is it, the same path. And I think that
They were
like
not
mother,
growing together. They were
yeah,
going together, but they were not growing together. That's a common that's a common thing that happens sometimes. People will get engaged
yeah.
and they'll start their careers or they'll continue their careers. I remember one time I was friends with some folks in the music industry. They've been engaged for gosh, 10, 12, almost 15 years, I think.
Sure. They should have
And
been married after that. I
yeah,
mean, that many years being engaged.
that's absolutely right. So it
See,
ended up the lady wanted to get married and have the kids and have the family, and the guy just strung her along pretty much. And yeah,
okay,
well, the guy
I got
ended
I got
up,
to tell you the story. I can't tell you who it was, but I know this lady that her son was dating this other lady, and
yeah,
he just wanted to, just date, and his mother said, "Hey, you better make this right,
yeah,
and you better marry this girl and just don't have her hanging out." Oh, and then I can tell you this other. My mother, my brother had got with this lady, and he had, I think, 3 kids. Yeah, but she says, so this lady's never had any kids, and you're gonna tell her you're gonna get with her and not you know mate with her or have any kids and I don't know. I feel kind of sorry for her because he said I already have my kids, so I don't want to have any more kids. But you got with the lady who's never had any kids, and you're gonna put that on her. But yeah, they understood that's the way they was gonna go, and so they never had any kids together. But he has the other kids out there. Well, I know a friend of mine says
huh,
his sexual production.
jeez.
So so it's like wow. But in 2024, I guess they did this film called Blink Twice. Now I've never even heard of this movie, but if you guys have out there, have you seen this movie? It just remains like like a nice memory that she had when they both performed in this film. And I may have to go look up uh Blink Twice. Let me ask, I say, what is the movie Blink Twice about?
I love AI.
Psychological thriller.
Awesome.
Oh, they were invited uh, to a, a private island where a billionaire invited them, and I guess Zoe had something to do with producing this.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Totally,
Could it
dude.
be an Epstein?
Could have been that cheap.
I'll have to check
Yeah.
that
So
out,
check
man.
out Blink Twice, and we're not promoting
Yeah.
anything down here at the Innervision FM studios, but we do like to watch a movie from time to time. Sometimes that's on audio description. Audiovault.net is our main go-to place for audio um, described videos.
Oh yeah.
Because what they
Yeah.
do is they don't put the video up there, they just put the audio version of the description. A lot
And
cheaper, a lot easier. You can give them a donation, kick them a donation too. That's always helpful. So
also this movie is up for 2025 nomination, I guess in March when they have the awards, movie
yeah.
awards. So it's up. And also I found this email. I don't know if I'll send it out, but you can put your vote in for a chance to win $100 gift card.
Oh,
Did you hear
yeah,
about that?
I
Or did
did
you
hear something about that. I haven't opened that email.
Yeah. So I might open that up and just put, well, I don't know, man. Eh, I don't really watch a lot of the Days movies. You asked me about I Dream of Jeannie or Beverly Hillbillies or
Right.
the Munsters, and I could tell you all about that. But the Days movies or Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Eastwood is my boy. And he's still making movies. He's like 93, still making movies.
Yeah, he's got this theory about how, if you grow old, don't act like an old person or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, Eastwood, he's my
He's
man. All
still
right.
going, boy. Man, I tell you, if I'm doing the same thing like he is right now, if I'm doing that later in life, I'm good. Same with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is a
Oh,
machine.
Chuck Norris. Yeah, he just turned, I think, 83
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
And so he's still out there doing this thing. So hey, just because you're getting a little bit older doesn't mean you have to just sit down and rock in the rocking chair, you know?
I love those silly Chuck Norris memes that are out there where, oh God, they're just so silly.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. And we're getting kind of long in time. So I want to get this one about the Small Business Bureau, which is located in downtown Denver here.
Dude,
If
yes.
if you notice that well, people that live in Denver and if you live in a blue state, you the politicians have practically destroyed the city with the crime rate and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I was wondering how long it was going to take because they're paying that's high rent because downtown, if you just own like a two-level floor, my friend this was in 2006, he was paying $3,000 plus his house,
Yeah.
right? So So I can imagine what the rent is downtown now if you own several floors of a building and the money's coming, of course, it's coming from the federal government, but because President Trump put in this thing about he's not giving any more funding to sanctuary cities, the Small Business Bureau has decided to go out into a rural area where the rent is cheaper.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, Johnny, because they are indeed cutting back on services up here in Cripple Creek
Hmm.
because, of course, we do live in a blue state and it's kind of looked at as a sanctuary state, at least initially. So we are getting pretty hit hard up here
Hmm.
too. They've cut everything back to, well, we got these offices open 2 days a week. Uh, we'll try to get this person to get back in touch with you maybe, 5 days from now, which is fine because,
Hmm.
the bottom line is we have a radio station here. We have
Yeah.
a presence and we have the Center for Government Accountability at www.accountabilityrevolution.com. Now, when you go
Hmm.
there, the website's still in construction. I need money. I need
Yeah.
money to update stuff, but I'm not asking for that here. But when you go
Well,
there, you're going to find some stuff. It sounds a little bit out there, remove judges, take, and reform all
impeach
the
judges, maybe.
today's the day. It's now the time. So
Hmm.
I think the main thread with this is, hey, let's get involved peaceably. at the local,
Yes.
state, federal level, legislatively, and let's educate some folks. Let's do some real education. Let's not do this blindness stuff where you get a whole group, and I'm not saying this is bad, but they have the Capitol March days and all this stuff. I know we're long on time, Johnny, so let me
Oh,
let me
no, no, no
wrap
problem.
this up. Um, all these things could be solved if we could all just work together, and if we
Mm.
could just get together, decide on what our commonalities are, what we need, and take our differences, set those aside for now. Work on those later because all this stuff's going to get shaken out over the next 4 years,
Mm.
regardless of whether you might want to play ball or maybe you don't.
Mm. And
Bottom
if you,
line is,
yeah, and also if you want to catch like a blog of our a blog of our shows, you can go to our website, innervisionrecords.org, and you can just read over the transcript of the show, which uh, AI has really helped out with that. So I don't have to
right,
sit back and write that, okay, we talked about this and this. AI just picks it up and
writes a
I can just,
cogent script as to what we talked about, if even if
yes.
we ramble a little bit.
Yeah.
With this,
I think it cuts all that stuff out. It just gets to the point.
yeah, it does. It definitely just consolidates everything and makes a cogent timeline result of our podcast. So it's real interesting. Check those blogs out.
Yes. So anyway, so that's going to do it for today, and I guess tomorrow I'll get back to writing grants. I wasn't feeling. I went to have lunch with the older guy today, and came. I ate so much that my son says you got to lay down and rest. It was like eating a turkey dinner, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Well, today is our Wednesday, but it's also our Friday. And so we want to give you guys a good 5 day weekend. Do stay tuned for some shorts that are coming out over the
oh
next
yeah,
few. And do watch some of the previous ones that the Johnny J AI crew have put out.
oh yeah,
And do support us. Don't forget all the means to do so are in the description below. And none of this is possible without our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Never
yes.
better time to get saved
Oh.
than today.
And a good prayer to look at is the prayer that started right before Trump had his meeting today with the guy who's running um, the House Authority, and the guy said, "Yeah, you must have did." Trump says, "You must have did this a few times before." It was a
Yeah.
good prayer to start off a meeting, and I don't remember any Democrat meetings ever starting off with a prayer. Do you?
Um, what I do remember is when they were disrespecting prayer, when they were using
Ah,
when they would say, well, we don't want to say amen because men is in the word amen, so we're going to say a women or
oh
something
man, okay,
silly, you
yeah,
know. So if they did pray, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a Democrat and you're watching us, let us know. Uh,
yes,
what is your party affiliation? How do you? No, no. Let me see if I can rephrase that. Let us know what your party's faith is collectively. You see
yes.
what I'm saying?
And if you agree with it or don't agree with it, because a lot of times when I was a Democrat, I just held my nose, and then I found out I don't hold my nose. I can go over here
Right?
and to the mega crowd and be proud that I'm a child of God and that I listen to the direction of where the Bible and Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit says to go rather than where the secular world says to go. So yeah. Yeah, so it works. All right, and don't forget, like, share. It helps our algorithms, and leave your comments below.